new program to develop communication skills at Toastmasters. Tonight she will give her icebreaker speech to refresh your memory about her. Her speech tonight is entitled Find Your Path. And she's feeling a little ill tonight, so we're not going to shake hands. And, welcome, Yingying.
Picture this. You are standing at a crossroad. In front of you, there are two paths. One path is what you are already familiar with. It continues where you come from. And your existing knowledge will prepare you for your next journey. But the other path, not so much. You don't really know where it leads to, but it gets you excited. And now you're going to make the first step. Which one would you choose? Dear fellow Toastmasters, about 7 years ago, I was at a crossroad just like this. At the time, I came to the US, and I was 1 year into my graduation school as a computer science student. I already studied 4 years of computer science back in China, and I had 1 more year to go. But I just started to feel that this is not something that I would love to do the rest of my life, or at least after graduate. I had such a hard time to learn about some must-have courses like algorithms and back-end coding, and I didn't really enjoy programming that much. But I didn't know what else I could do, so I thought maybe I would just apply to become a programmer and just go with that because it's in high tech and it pays really well. But little did I know, one website inspired me to choose the other paths. One of my courses was about designing user interface. A user interface is a computer screen when you are playing with your computer. Is the screen that you look at when you open your smartphone app. Or is the control pad that you get your coffee from a coffee machine. A good interface design can really make the experience enjoyable, and a good designer can help with that. But there are millions of badly designed items out there. So the professor of the course introduced us to a website called baddesigns.com. Surprisingly, someone collects the bad designs. And in this website, it collects a bunch of badly designed gas station pads, microwaves, websites, apps, and it's surprising how people can come up with so many creative solutions just to get around this, to work around in order to use these items. But a good designer can use their knowledge and framework to figure out what's wrong and fix them to make the experience enjoyable. This really fascinated me. And as I learned a little bit more about it, I thought, this is something I would like to do after graduating. So I chose this second path. But I also chose a bumpy path because my school doesn't have any of this design program to prepare me for my future job. I browsed the entire course catalog and only found a few that are kind of relevant but not exactly the same as what I want to learn. But I took them. I also looked for internships that also kind of similar but not hit on the target, but I took them just to get me a head start. I also bought a bunch of books to learn by myself. As you probably can tell, with all the discipline and with all the systematic learning, it's really hard. And this challenge really came to my face when it was the time to find my first job. I didn't really know what to do for a designer's job, so I kind of applied just like a blind person to try to get over a river. And I also saw a lot of my computer science classmates, they started getting nice offers from big companies, so I was not really sure about my choice anymore. I started applying for both programming jobs and designer jobs. But I was very lucky that I got into a tiny startup company to become their first designer for their product. a web application. And the first few months, I was so nervous because in this company, nobody can teach me how to do my job. And I didn't know either. So I had to start study nights and weekends to get through and get better at my job. And when it came to the second job switching time, I found it was even harder for me to compete with those designers who have a nice background from a design school with great discipline, who also have a few years of experience and know how to frame their talk and work and nicely display it to win the jobs. So after spending time, eight long months, I finally landed my second designer job. Really went through a lot of trials and errors. But I think it was worth it because I was finally able to nail this. And after almost 6 years, I'm still happily in this designer path and striving to improve the user experience for digital products. So when I look back to all these years I spent on as a designer, I feel very fulfilling and grateful that in the first place, I chose a path I was passionate about. I can choose the other one, but I probably won't be happy here today. So I'm very glad that I followed my heart to choose something I won't regret. So now I encourage you, next time when you're at your crossroad, try to follow a path that you feel follow your heart, and I'm sure that choice you make you won't regret. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So let's evaluate.